plaît pour une intervention brève mais essentielle. Une amie qui vient d'arriver de Tel Aviv, qui est venue pour notre rassemblement de ce soir. Elle a été vice-présidente de la Knesset. Elle est la voix dans le monde des otages vivants, des otages morts. Elle est leur voix, elle les représente. Elle m'a d'ailleurs accueilli il y a 15 jours sur la place des otages à Tel Aviv, et c'est, je dois dire, ce fut l'un des moments bouleversants de ma vie d'écrivain engagé. Cette grande dame s'appelle Emilie Moatti. Chère Emilie, please come.
Dear friends, cher Bernard, je vais parler en anglais parce que comme je parle français, je suis la seule à comprendre. At the end of the day, there is just one question to be asked. Is Israel a state like any other, or the stepchild in the family of nations, which attract both admiration and rejection? If I had to choose both as a citizen and as a politician, I would love it to be a normal member of this family, without the cheers and the jeers. Of course, anti-Semitism exists. It always has, and probably, unfortunately, always will. And now, we also have the old-fashioned anti-Semitism in intellectual disguise. Anti-Semitism, like any other form of racism, is the result of ignorance. And there is just one way to combat ignorance: education and exposure. Unfortunately, the transition from Internet Explorer to social media platforms has done the opposite. Education was replaced by public opinion, and that created a narrow echo chamber of fanaticism around each individual. Of course, I have nothing against public opinion, but it cannot replace fact and education. This is sad, but change is possible. It will depend on the willingness of leaders, and that is where you, as citizens and leaders, come into play. I hope we agree that anti-Semitism is not a point of view. It is a crime. And since we are in France, a crime against all the value this beautiful country was created upon. It's important for me to say that I belong to those who believe things can be different. I believe the Israeli-Palestinian conflict can end if there will be a leader who speaks the language of hope instead the language of fear. On both sides, and if we are talking about the other side, my political camp never considered Hamas as a partner. Hamas is not a partner. Israelis know that, but here it needs to be said clearly. The worst thing to do is to simply leave the conflict to the next generation. I believe that being pro-Israel means to support the two-state solution, even if it's, believe me, even if it's difficult for you to imagine it at this point of history. Sorry for the digression from the main topic, but there are people here who should listen to a different voice. Two more things before I conclude. One concerns something that always seemed normal to me, but recently I realized how much is not normal. As Jews, and especially as Israelis, We are familiar with this routine of removing all sides of Jewishness to avoid bad things. It wasn't so natural to me that I never gave it a second thought. When you are in a foreign country, you don't speak Hebrew. You don't wear Magen David, you don't wear a kippah. But have you ever seen Italians or Greeks hide their identity? So how come it seems natural to us? And why we accept the fact that simply being a Jew is dangerous? Pourquoi les hommes cachent leur kippa ici? Et c'est pas par naïveté, it's because I'm sick of it. And I'm sick of being sick of it. I have to confess about something that changed in me. Since the October catastrophe, the Shabbat HaShchora, as we call it in Hebrew. If before I felt much closer to a socialist around the world, to women from my political camp in particular, I have discovered Jewish communities worldwide. And this one here in particular, I have found a family. And the deeper you explore it, you find how universal it is, how strong, caring, and tolerant too. It's the family I always wanted. So thank you for that. You are a shining light in the middle of the tragedy, huge tragedy that befell us. And personally, I will never forget it. Thank you very much.
Pour une intervention brève mais essentielle.